Hi, all. This is Doc coming to you live, streaming live from long, where the weather is crisp but beautiful. So it was the week of the first week in October, the first week of the fall season, and fall it did. Most of the averages were not good, took a hit, including my favorite, the IBB. I'm not going to talk about the IBB, but I'm going to talk about half a dozen companies that are part of the IBB. So before we get to that, and also Amazon and Apple, I'd like to examine their charts. I think it's instructive, and as well as the NASDAQ 100. Anyway, do your own due diligence. As always, my opinions are my own and do not constitute investment advice. If you like my ideas, follow them at your own risk. If you like the video blog, whatever you call it, please like us. Please write comments to me. I will try to answer. Please share the link. And what else? Please subscribe. That covers all the pleases. To the video charts, and we'll go through this very carefully so I can give you my opinion of where we are and where we're going, stock by stock and market as a whole. Okay, it'll take about 3.5 seconds to share the screen. One, it was quicker than 3.5. All right. So you should be seeing my screen now. Now let's take a look from left to right. Oncosec Medical had one very nice day today. The news of data being reported out at the Melanoma Bridge Conference the end of November in Naples is what caused this news. I'm sorry about my machine loading so slow. I've been having problems, but it gets there. And here we have it. Here's the chart of ONCS. The nice day we're talking about is when it broke clear of its downward trend line on Thursday. So that was a beautiful day. October 5th, it gave back a little bit, but not much. It's a very small candle, still with a touch of the upper trend line. So now, for the first time, I decided we're in an upward channel. I drew the channel, the parallel line right here, and it fits very nicely, even though we had only two or three touches. It looks very nice. It looks like we're in a very nice channel. Looks like we broke the descending trend line. So I don't think it's just the fact that data was good on Tavo, the drug that Oncosec is testing in trials as a monotherapy against melanoma, late-stage melanoma. But I think it's the fact that Dan O'Connor is dangling the carrot with respect to Pisces, which is the trial being jointly done with Merck. Merck has anti-PD-1 inhibitor, Keytruda, and the Tavo drug prepares patients to become receptive to the anti-PD-1 inhibitor, even if they weren't before, to a certain extent anyway. I think it's the earlier data was pretty good, like around 70% or something like that. I haven't looked at it in a while, so I really shouldn't throw out numbers. Please fact check anything that I say, because I'm relying on my memory. I don't have notes in front of me. I just kind of speak off the top of my head, and sometimes the top of my head has wrong information. So if I make a mistake, it's really 60%. Please forgive me. but I know it increases the percentage of patients that would benefit from the Merck drug. In any event, we will find out just how much, probably beginning of 19, sometime in the first quarter. So Dan O'Connor's smart. We have good data coming up at the end of November. Why not parlay that with the Merck data, which also figures to be good? And that's the reason for the spike. And that's the reason for the upward channel. And that's the reason for my optimism going forward on OncoSec Medical. Let's take a look at Geron. Geron was one of the only stocks up on Friday in the biotech space, as biotech got creamed on Friday along with the rest of the market. Well, really worse than the rest of the market. NASDAQ was down about 1% on Friday. S&P was down about 0.5% on Friday. And I think the NASDAQ was down maybe 0.6%, something like that. Yeah, probably 0.75%. So we're waiting Geron to load, and it just did. Okay, so on Friday, wait a second. Is that Friday? I thought we were up. Yeah, weren't we up on Friday? I hate to reload this, but it says we're down. I think we're up. Let me reload it. And that'll probably take another half an hour. But in any event, it looks like we've stabilized. I'm now drawing a trend line and a channel going up. A little bit of optimism, considering I just have a large chunk of Geron still. But I do think that it's formed a pretty good low here, 155, 150 area. And we will rise, I think, going into the end of the year. So I think we could get back to that 311 area where we were before all the big run-up started. That would be my hope. And I think from the chart, possible. Yeah, 183 up 7 cents. That's not bad. 183 up 7 cents. And in about 3 seconds, we'll have the chart. Every time I say 3 seconds, the expectations are beaten. That was about 1/2 of a second. Okay, so yes, we have an up day. And I want to show you something on the chart. Sometimes you get repetition of patterns. Look at this pattern that began 9/13/2018. We had a big red candle. The length of the width of the entire channel that it was in, Gern was trading in. Then we had smaller little candles until the 7th day, when we had a big green candle that brought us halfway up to where we were from the top of the big red candle. Well, we have something similar. A big candle here, smaller candles. We're due, and this is the 7th day, right? 6. Yeah, this will be the 7th day after the red candle. So if history repeats, we'll get a nice green candle on Monday that'll take us over $2. And why not? Why not? Sometimes you see things like that. It's just freaky how that happens. I mean, there's no reason why it should other than it does. You call it serendipity, call it synchronicity, call it anything you like, but I've seen it happen over and over again. I'm not saying it will happen on Monday, but I sure wouldn't mind a move to the $2 mark on Monday. Anyway, in any event, I think we're going to follow this channel up, get back to that 311, maybe sometime by the end of the year. All right, athx. Remember, this is one man's opinion. Other people have different opinions. Other analysts have different opinions. Athx. Also, it's interesting about charts. You take 5 people and you get 5 opinions as to the chart. So I like to keep charts simple. I use a lot of indicators, but mainly trend lines, the moving averages, and the RSI. And that's all that I'm showing on all of these charts. Now we're looking at athx, which was also up on a down market, up 3 pennies or 1.5%, but is stubbornly clinging to the 210 trend line. The 210 wall, that's solidly, there were a million hits on this trend line. So I wanted to get free of this 210 area, and then I think we can see some serious movement. I'm very optimistic we take out the high of the year. By the end, another bold call by Dr. J. Of course, one that I wish comes true, considering that I have many shares of this. And sometimes that does taint my perspective, but I see no reason why. News is expected. That should be good. So why not? Okay, so Gil Van Brocklen presented the other day and did an outstanding job. We're in good hands with GVB. I like athx fundamentally, and I like the chart. All right, Amazon. Amazon has a beautifully defined trend line. Beautifully defined, going way back. I mean, it's just so easy to love Amazon based on its trend line. It's got 1 million touches. I mean, not 1 million, but it has enough touches. And recently it had a touch on the 24th of September. It broke through, but didn't make a clean break of the trend line on Friday. So on Friday, we have a down day, as was the rest of the market, down 1% or 20 points. I drew a line, a horizontal line right under that. I think it holds this 1888, 89 area. And I think we come right back to take out the double top that we see right here. So I'm very optimistic on Amazon. I think it's true to its trend line. I think if it breaks trend, then we're looking at another 10-point drop easily, another drop to the 1763 area, 100-point drop, followed by support at, what's the high of the day here? One more. Support at about 1638. That's a big drop. I hope we don't get that far down. If we do, that means the market as a whole has turned sour because Amazon is strong. Strong, baby, strong. And it's worth looking at the NASDAQ 100 as a whole. Was it off more than the 1% that Amazon was off on Friday? I don't think so. Let's load it and take a look. But the chart on the NASDAQ doesn't look too good. So the NASDAQ 100 looks weaker than Amazon and Apple. We'll do Apple last, which doesn't make me happy because if the NASDAQ sinks, so will Apple, so will Amazon, so will Facebook, so will Netflix, so will Google. They'll all go down. So if we're looking at a decline to 70-20, that area, that's enough to be noticeable and cause ripples in the FANG. Right now, intraday, it broke a key area. I'm looking for support at 7,300, which wouldn't be terrible. If we get support at 7,300, it's another 100-point drop. That's what, another 1%? That's laughable. No big deal. Looking at, and I think we bounce back to hug this upper trend line going forward for the rest of the year. So I'm thinking this is a short-term pullback for the Dow, for the S&P, for Apple and Amazon, for the components of the FANG, for the biotech index. I think it's all short-term. I think we're strong through the end of the year. Let's look at Apple and wrap it up. Apple is the beast, along with Amazon. The beast of the FANG. It just goes up and keeps going up. Oh, it didn't go up Friday. Down 370 or 1.62%, but right to the trend line support. So I'm not concerned at all about that drop. I think we bounce right back off on Monday. If not Monday, we drop a little Tuesday and then back. We're not even in oversold territory according to the RSI. Sold for a long period of time. Where the blue color is, you can't see it, from about 817 till about 9.5. So it could be oversold for a long time. I don't know if I'm using 70. Yeah, I'm using 70-30 for oversold, and well, we were just below 70. Took a little dive down. So this is a perfect time for Apple to go right back into oversold territory with a nice move up, taking out the all-time high. Very about Apple's quarter. I think it's a phenomenal product. I just picked up my iPhone XS Max and love it already. What's there not to love? I love Apple. I love Amazon. I'm pretty bullish on the rest of the FANG, very bullish on the NASDAQ, very bullish on the IBB. Bullish on many of the bio finished looking at. Which one didn't we look at? Novavax. And we might as well. That's a request by Frozen Smoke and Adam. Frozen Smoke and Adam, if you're watching, hi, this one's for you. Okay, so Novavax, a vaccine that they're developing for that baby virus, RSV, I think it's called, whatever the initials are. And they're awaiting data on it. I don't think that there's competition in that space with RSV. So if they get a vaccine that works, they'll make a lot of money. It's just that simple. And there is optimism leading into the data. So the optimism brought the stock out of its doldrums, and it was in a long-term downtrend from what date? From March 1, where it topped off at 275. It went all the way down. I mean, all the way down to $1.16, $1.15. And then bottomed here and broke through this descending pennant and broke out. And now it formed a new trend line in the upward direction. I had a pullback here. I kind of flagged a little over here, and then immediately came back to its upward trend line. Now we have another pennant right here, and I think it's going to go back and forth until news. I don't know when news is due, but if news is due before the end of this, before 10/24, I think we'll see little movement in the stock until then. Positive news, we take out the old high, no doubt. Negative news, those of you who know about gern know what happens on negative news. So Novavax is trending up, and it looks good technically, but I know it all depends on the data. I've been in and out of Novavax since the bird flu scares about 10 years ago or longer. So Novavax has been around a long time and keeps on failing. I sure hope it doesn't fail this time for those who are long. And I don't have any basis for saying it's going to fail because I know nothing about the fundamentals, and what happened in the past has nothing to do with the future. And so I'm not being negative when I report that it's failed in the past. I'm just giving a statement of fact, which probably has little to do with its prospects going forward. All right, so I think we had a nice little review. Is it an overbought territory? Probably. It's a little bit an overbought territory. So a small pullback here to the trend line is probably going to happen. Not a big deal. All right, so even if we get that small pullback, it's had a nice run. It might be an opportunity to add or to take a position. So that's my feeling on Novavax. Now, I stopped screen share so that I can get back to the camera maybe and say goodbye properly to all my friends on Twitter and StockTwits and Google Plus and Facebook and wherever else you know me from, or just my friends in general. So it's always great getting together and chatting. I'm going to try to do it more regularly. I missed Friday. I apologize. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my videos. And I think there's better days ahead. Adios, amigos. Ciao.